Good morning, and welcome to the Sports Booth. I'm your host, Cade Berkstead, joined by my co-host, Ethan Dahlbeck. First things first, sorry about the slight absence of our podcast this week. We've been super busy grinding hard on the website, making sure it's ready to go for launch day, which is going to be today. That's right when this video is up, so is our site, thesportbooth.com. That's right, thesportbooth.com with no S at the end of sport. Make sure you guys go over to check out our other video that's going up. It's going to be Ethan walking through the website, showing you how everything works, so you guys can learn about our sweet giveaways, purchase picks, and our merchandise. Anyways, let's get into this jam-packed NFL news and fantasy show and take it to the booth.
Alrighty. We'll start off by talking about all of the past matchups this weekend, as well as some of the top scores from each of the games. We're going to start on Thursday night. We've got Houston at Carolina. Sam Darnold had himself a day once again, going 23 for 34, having 8 carries, 11 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Passing touchdowns, that is, I believe. Or no, they were rushing, weren't they?
Yeah, they were rushing.
Wow, look at him go. DJ Moore also had himself a good day, going 1 carry for -1 yards. That wasn't very good. But then he went 8 for 12 receptions with 126 yards. Brandon Cooks also had himself a nice day, going 1 carry for 5 yards and 9 for 11 with 112 yards receiving. Thoughts on that game, kid?
Yeah, so as everyone probably already knows by now, Christian McCaffrey went out with a hamstring injury in that, but that didn't seem to slow them down too much. They eventually picked up the pace again. Chuba Hubbard stepped in. Seems like he's going to be a viable fantasy option for the time being.
Yeah, he definitely. It just took them about until halftime, really. They just needed to figure out what they were doing without him.
Yeah, no, Sam Darnold really seems to like DJ Moore, not really getting Robbie Anderson involved a whole lot. As for the Texans, Mills, he obviously looked like this was his first start, but it wasn't as bad as what I thought it would be.
Yeah, me neither. He definitely could have done worse. He protected the ball well, so that's all you can really ask for him. We didn't expect a whole lot going into it, but we definitely did not expect that Christian McCaffrey out. There's injury. There's no doubt about that. Alrighty, going on to Sunday now. We've got the Los Angeles Chargers upsetting the Kansas City Chiefs 30-24. Justin Herbert had himself a great day, going 26 for 38, 281 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns, a 2-point conversion, 4 carries for 16 yards. Wow, he finished with 30.84 fantasy points. Patrick Mahomes also had another good day, going 27 for 44. Not the greatest percentage, 260 with 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 4 carries for 45 yards. And then a couple other notable performances was Austin Eckler, who went 11 for 55 and 6 receptions for 52 yards and a touchdown. And Mike Williams, who went 7 for 9, 122 yards, 2
Jeez.
touchdowns, and a 2-point conversion. That's insane. Thoughts on this game?
Yeah, so I did catch the majority of this game. Chargers, they look good, and at the end of the game there, they had a 4th and 4, got a false start, so they had to go for it on 4th and 9. Super windy day in Kansas City. They ended up converting and going ahead and scoring a touchdown there. Very clutch, though they missed the PAT, so it's probably a good thing they didn't kick that field goal. As for Kansas City, very sloppy first half. They turned the ball over on the first 4 possessions or something like that. And Patty's receivers just weren't helping him out. I mean, I think it was Pringle that just absolutely goofed the ball and led to one of his interceptions. I don't remember the other one if it was Patty's fault or tipped pass again. But
yeah, I'm not sure. But I mean, even Tyreek Hill, like back-to-back weeks now, Mecole Hardman's been a better receiver than him. What is going on with Hill?
I don't know. I'll be interested to see how Josh Gordon plays a role in Kansas City.
Yeah, definitely having that speed on the opposite side of Hill is going to be huge, not only for Tyreek Hill because they're going to have to play another high safety over Josh Gordon, otherwise he's going to be wide open, but it's going to play a huge impact on the openness of Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I mean Kansas City, they just got to get it together.
Yeah,
1-2 already.
definitely. All right, moving on over to Jacksonville, where Arizona beat them pretty handedly, 31-19. Kyler Murray had a nice day, going 28 for 34, 316, one interception, 7 carries for 19 yards and a touchdown. James Conner also had a nice day, going 11 for 43, a touchdown and a reception, 2 touchdowns and a reception for 10 yards. James Robinson had a good day, as he is currently doing at the time of this recording.
That's my boy.
He had 15 carries for 88 yards, a touchdown, 6 receptions for 46 yards. Chase Edmonds had a decent day. Christian Kirk had a decent day. DJ Chark had a decent day, who is now injured, which is so sad. Marvin Jones did all right, but not a whole lot other than James, Kyler, and James Conner. Both Jameses and Kyler. Thoughts on that
Yeah,
game, kid?
so it was a fairly close game for the first half there, especially when Arizona tried that 68-yard field goal.
Yeah,
And then
that was silly.
Agnew ran it 109 yards back for the score. And then
As a
second
Bama fan,
half,
had a little bit of PTSD when I saw that, but all good.
no kidding. But yeah, no, I mean Jacksonville definitely looked like they're learning. Trevor Lawrence is getting a little bit more comfortable, though he had a really really bad pick there. I think it was early on in the second half. But James Robinson, I love to see that. I've been preaching on him all season long. Urban
Yeah,
Meyer must have finally listened into the sports booth, heard me hyping him up. That's what we like to see.
yeah, I
But
guess so. I guess so.
in the end, Kyler led the Cardinals to another dub.
That he did. All right, moving on over to Cleveland, where they beat Chicago pretty handedly. Did I mistype that? Was it 26-6 or was it?
I
Uh,
think it was 3.
yeah, I did too. I think it was 36-6. All right, yeah, Cleveland beat them 36-6. Baker Mayfield had a good day, going 19 for 31, 246 at touchdowns, 4 carries and 31 yards. Kareem Hunt had quite a day himself, going 10 carries, 1 touchdown, 81 yards, 6 receptions for 74 yards. And then Chase McLaughlin, quite the day on his part. He had 3 field goals total, 2 extra points. Oh wait, no. So
Was
it,
that
it was
4?
26. It was 26.
Yeah, 26-3.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think Chicago only had a field goal.
Nope, 26-6. I had it right.
Gotcha.
But yeah, thoughts on that game?
Yeah, so not very exciting for all the Chicago Bears fans out there.
Oh my goodness, did you see that they had 68 passing, or Justin Fields had 68 passing yards, but the Bears had 67 uh, net yards lost in sacks? They had 9 sacks for
Jeez.
67 yards. So he had a total of 1 net yard passing.
Yeah, that's just not going to get it done.
No, oh my goodness, that is horrible. But that's not his fault. I mean, Matt Nagy was running 5-man protection a majority of his dropbacks, which is just stupid against that Cleveland Browns offensive line or defensive line, excuse me. And that's just unacceptable by Matt Nagy.
Yeah, I mean, not a whole lot else to talk about there. I mean, Kareem Hunt had quite the day over Nick Chubb, but
Yeah, no kidding. Alrighty. Moving on over to Buffalo, where Buffalo whooped on Washington, unfortunately, against our picks, beating them 43-21. Josh Allen had a great day, going 32 for 43, 358 yards, 4 touchdowns, 4 carries for 9 yards, and a touchdown rushing. On the other side of the ball, though, Taylor Heineke also had himself a good day, going 23 for 38. I was just reading a score. Oh my goodness, I am exhausted. He went 14 for 24 with 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 8 carries for 21 yards and a touchdown. He also had a reception for -2 yards and a tackle. So, yeah,
Attaboy.
quite the day for Mr. Heineke. But he did get the loss, which sucks. And then, holy cow, Emmanuel Sanders had quite the day, going 5 for 6, 94 yards and 2 touchdowns. Cole Beasley also had a nice day, going 11 for 13 and 98 yards. So, thoughts on that game?
Yeah, so this was finally the Buffalo Bills that I was expecting to see this season.
Me too, other than one thing. Can you guess what that is?
Tell me.
Where the heck is Stephon Diggs?
Yep. Okay. I thought that might be it. Yeah, no,
And
I
what
mean,
the hell is going on with their running backs? 1 week it's Zach Moss, 1 week it's Singletary. You never know. Past 2
yeah,
weeks it's been Moss, but week 1 it was Singletary had quite himself a game.
I don't know if that's just matchups that they're planning for or what, or they just getting their blocks when they're out on the field. But Stephon Diggs, I expect to see a little bit more from him this upcoming week, especially playing against Houston.
Yeah, if he doesn't, is it time to start thinking about hopefully trading him?
Yeah, if he puts up another dud this week, like 10, 11 points, even that, I might consider trying to trade him off
Especially if he
for.
has a touchdown and only has that much.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then
I
if you
mean,
take that touchdown away, then he's only got 5 points.
if you don't end up trading, I might at least look for Cole Beasley and Emmanuel Sanders on the waiver wire if they're still available in your league.
I mean, if you could get a decent deal for him, like if you could get a wide receiver 2 or maybe a flex wide receiver and a running back 2 or a running back flex, I think you could. I think that would not be a bad decision if, especially if Sanders and Beasley have big games and Diggs doesn't, because that means the defense is just keying in on Diggs,
Yep.
which is smart. Alrighty. Moving on to Tennessee. We'll try to speed things up a little bit here. Tennessee beat them 25-16. Ryan Tannehill had a good day, going 18 for 27, 197. 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 5 carries, 56 yards rushing, and a tackle. Woo! These quarterbacks getting these tackles. Derrick Henry had another good day, going 28 carries for 113 and a touchdown, and a 2-point conversion. Excuse me. And he went 3 for 3 receiving with 31 yards. Other than that, there wasn't a whole lot of impressive performances. I guess Naeem Hines had himself quite a day. He had 6 carries for 25 yards, a touchdown, and 5 receptions for 6 yards and 54 yards. So definitely getting the majority of the carries and the important carries and the receptions over Jonathan Taylor. What are your thoughts?
And I mean, I expected Tennessee to steamroll the Colts here. I guess it was a little closer than what I would have expected, but I mean, they pretty much controlled the majority of the game.
Should Jonathan Taylor owners be worried?
Not yet. Concerned maybe, but not worried. Just I wouldn't go dumping them off
Naeem
yet.
Hines saw about 56% of the snaps last week.
He did, but
Jonathan Taylor only saw about 42.
I'd still hang on to Jonathan Taylor. I still think he has a lot of fantasy potential.
Yeah, I think he could. What if you got like a good trade for him?
Yeah, if I got like a screaming trade for him, yeah, probably.
What about for like Saquon Barkley?
I'm gonna say no on that just because I don't know. Probably because I have McCaffrey in the league, and I saw how that went down. You have him too in one of our
I don't have
leagues.
no more.
That's right. That's right. Questionable trade. Questionable trade.
No, trust me, because this is my plan. I'm hoping he doesn't listen to this before, or either one of them listen to this. I don't think one of them will. My hope is either Jonathan Taylor has another dud of a week or doesn't play because he's injured, or Antonio Gibson doesn't play, and then I try to trade for one of them. Because then all of a sudden I'm going to have Chris Carson, one of those two running backs. And I mean, I've got quite a good bench right now. I've got Cordell Patterson, Jalen Waddle, Davonte Smith. I've got a nice bench right now.
Okay. I'll be interested to see how that plays out.
Trust me, I wasn't just gonna stick with losing McCaffrey. I got to make more moves, but I got to wait one more week. You know,
Yeah, just good luck getting people to
especially if
trade.
I'm able to beat Barker, because then he's gonna be 0-4.
No, he beat me last week. I'll be 1-3.
Oh, he beat you last week?
Yeah, I left my win on the bench.
Oh shoot! I thought we were definitely both 0-3. I guess it's just me.
It's you and Cam.
No, there's a stat correction. Cam actually beat Connor.
Oh, so then Connor's 0.
Yep.
He 0. Oh my
But
god.
the craziest part is he's fifth in the league in scoring.
Yeah, I know.
He's also first in the league in points allowed, which is so stupid because that's nothing you can control in fantasy football.
Yeah. That is.
Alrighty, sorry. Quick sidebar. Moving on. New Orleans beat New England 28-13. No massive performances aside from Kamara, who had 24 carries, 89 yards, 3 receptions for 29 yards and a touchdown. And then Kendrick Bourne, who went 6 for 8, 96 yards and a touchdown. I guess Jacoby Meyer also had a good game, going 9 for 14 and 94 yards. Thoughts on this game?
Yeah, so actually Jacoby was one of the guys I left on my bench, so that one's potentially win anyways. I was a little disappointed in New England's performance. I mean, the Saints have proved to be a pretty solid squad this year, but I mean, as fantasy goes, I mean, other than Kamara, Bourne, and Myers, not a whole lot of action going on.
Callaway finally got a little more involved in the
Yeah,
offense.
he finally put up double digits, but I don't know. I don't know if I'd pick him up quite yet, but the New England backfield, I don't know what's going on there, but they're gonna need to figure that out. I mean, I guess they're playing the Bucks, so they're not gonna be running a whole lot.
Yeah, definitely sad to see James White go down as well. Alrighty. Like I said, we're going to try to pick things up a bit. We haven't been able to do that yet. Atlanta beat New York 17-14. Saquon Barkley finally had a good day, going 16 carries for 51 yards, a touchdown, 6 receptions for 43 yards. Thoughts on this game?
Man, what a crappy game. The Giants and the Falcons. Again, not a whole lot of stats to look at. Not very exciting 17-14 final. Other than Saquon and Ridley, Patterson, Mike Davis, I wouldn't really go for any of those fantasy guys.
Yeah, that's fair. Definitely fair. Alrighty, moving on to Pittsburgh, where Cincinnati beat the Steelers 24-10. Burrow had a nice day, going 14 for 18, 172 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also had an interception. Najee Harris, 14 carries, 40 yards. That's not good as far as a running back running the ball goes. That is not good at all. You want more production out of your running back, but it's really the offensive line. They just don't have a running game. They didn't have it last year. It is what it is. But this is the crazy part. 14 receptions. That's not even the craziest part. On 19 targets for 102 yards, and he also had a tackle on the defensive side. He put up 28.2 points without a touchdown. Thoughts on this game?
Yeah, so first of all, I was just absolutely shocked to see the Bengals win and by 14. I mean, the Steelers were missing Deontay Johnson, but still, I still thought their defense
And
would be
Juju
able
got
to.
injured.
That's right, and Juju. And then
Which
Claypool, another
both
guy
of those
left on the
players, which
bench.
are close to the line of scrimmage type players, that kind of makes sense why Najee Harris got so many targets, but just still 19 is insane.
Yeah, I mean, not the like you said, not the run production you want, but I'd take 14 receptions for 102 yards all day long on my fantasy team.
Especially in a PPR. Which,
Yeah,
by the way, is what I'm saying because aside from the PPR, he still had a good game. But if it wasn't for the PPR, he'd only have 100 or 10.2. No, 14.2, excuse me. Which is not a bad day, but definitely not a 28.2 type of day.
yeah.
Alrighty.
So
Moving on to Detroit, where Baltimore barely beat Detroit 19-17. Lamar Jackson had a good day, going 16 for 31, 287, a touchdown, and an interception with 7 rush for 58 yards. Deandre Swift had another good day, getting 23.7 PPR points. And Mark Andrews finally came out a bit, going 5 for 7 with 109 yards receiving. Thoughts on this game?
yeah, so another kind of a slow game, and some controversy at the end on that fourth down conversion. Lamar did his thing, and then the potential delay a game on that record-setting 66-yard field goal.
Yeah, no
Uh,
kidding. That was insane.
but yeah, I mean that's like the most Detroit Lions way to lose a football game right there on an NFL record.
Seriously. Oh my goodness. That's insane.
But other than
And
that,
the fact that it hit off the crossbar too.
yeah, even better.
Yeah.
Other than that, Deandre Swift looks pretty solid, especially for fantasy. Um, even
Yeah.
Jamal Williams has been getting some good carries, good action.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alrighty, moving over to Denver where they whooped on the Jets 26-0. No massively insane games. Nobody over 16 points in this game. Um, the Denver backfield was pretty much split. Um, Tim Patrick and Sutton split the receptions. Patrick just had a little bit more yardage. Nothing out of the craziness. Thoughts?
yeah. I'm sorry, Jets fans. I'm just sorry. That's all I got to say.
Alrighty, Oakland barely beat Miami in overtime, 31-28. Lost me a little bit of money when I was in Vegas this past weekend, but it is what it is. Carr had another good day, going 26 for 43 for 386 and 2 touchdowns and an interception. Um, Jacoby Brissett also had a nice day, going 33 for 49, 215 yards and a 2-point conversion. He also had 7 rush for 37 yards and a touchdown. Peyton Barber, wow. 23 carries, 111 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 receptions, 31 yards. Thoughts on this game?
Yeah, right off the bat, I was really surprised. Like you said, Peyton Barber. I thought Kenyon Drake would get the majority of the snaps, majority of the
I
runs
mean,
there,
Gruden
but
came out before and said that it was going to be Barber getting the carries.
yeah, I mean, it was the right thing to
He
do.
didn't lie.
But yeah, I guess the Raiders are just quite a bit better than what I was projecting at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, they have beat good teams and they have just looked good.
Yeah, they just
Um,
keep finding a way to win.
yep. Alrighty, moving on over to Los Angeles where they beat the Rams 34-24. Um, Tom Brady still had a great day, though, going 41 for 55, 432 passing yards, a passing touchdown, 3 carries, 14 yards, and a rushing touchdown. Matthew Stafford also had a great day, going 27 for 38, 343 touchdowns, 343 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 carries, and negative 2 yards. Bernard had a good day, having 19.10 fantasy points. Cup had a crazy day, going 9 for 12, 92 yards and 2 touchdowns. And yeah, thoughts on this game?
Yeah, the Rams they look really good, even without Darrell Henderson in the backfield. Not that they run the ball a whole lot, just Cooper Kupp has been the go-to. And we also saw Deshaun Jackson with a monster touchdown, like 70 some yards.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's the only reason why I didn't mention in that, just because it did all come off of one play, but still mighty impressive.
Yeah, other than that, Gronkowski for the Bucks might be out for a little bit,
Yeah, I'm
dinged
hoping
up.
not. I'm hoping not.
But I guess the surprise here for me was Giovanni Bernard with 19 fantasy points.
Seriously, no kidding.
I think he got dinged up on that touchdown, but
But they were all receptions too. That's the crazy part. He went 9
yeah.
for 10, 51 yards and a touchdown,
So
which is insane. All right, moving on over to Minnesota. Seattle lost to them. I wish I could say Seattle beat them. Dang it. What a bad game. The Seattle Seahawks did just not look good in that game. Minnesota beat them 30-17. Cousins had another good day, going 30 for 38, 323 for 3 touchdowns. Madison was just carving up the Seahawks, going 26 carries for 112 yards, 6 receptions for 59 yards. Justin Jefferson also had a great day, looking like he did last year, going 9 for 11, 118 and a TD. Metcalf also looked good, going 6 for 9, 107 and a touchdown. Thoughts?
disappointed as a Seahawks fan, but the Vikings they looked pretty good, especially Madison filling in for Dalvin Cook. I mean, if he's gonna be out another week,
Seattle's
he's
defense just did
solid
not
option.
look good this week or last
Yeah,
week. And the difference was we couldn't do anything on offense this week.
yeah, got to be able to move the ball.
And that's just something you can't change. That's just something you can't help sometimes. That's part of the game. Everybody has those games. I mean, shoot, Kansas City had that game.
Exactly.
I mean, Seahawks have the same record as Kansas City. I don't think we have any more reason to be scared other than the fact that actually we're both in extremely good divisions, so that sucks.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Moving on to Sunday Night Football, where Green Bay hit a game-winning field goal to beat San Francisco 30-28. Let's go. That helps the Seahawks a bit. Rodgers had a good day, going 23 for 33, 261, 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones and Juszczyk both had good games, finishing right around 16 points fantasy-wise. Davonte Adams looked really good, finishing 12 receptions for 132 yards and a touchdown. Thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, the game came down to the end, and when San Francisco scored, you could just see that look in Aaron Rodgers' eyes, like they were going to win the game, and sure enough, they did. Um, like you said, use check. That was good to see him finally being used again for
Yeah.
the Niners. Another one nice to see putting up points. Brandon Ayuk. He's
Yep.
been putting up absolutely nothing so far other than that game.
Yeah, we'll talk about him a little bit later on.
But yeah, other than that, the Packers look like they bounced back from that Week 1 loss. The Packers are back.
Definitely. All right. Moving on to Monday Night Football. Dallas whooped on Philadelphia 41-21. Dak Prescott had a good day, going 21 for 36, 238 yards, 3 touchdowns, 9 carries, 6 yards, and a fumble. Zeke also had a good day. I cut off his receiving yards, so I'm not sure what he got there, but he finished with 17 carries, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns, and something receiving, I'm sure. Zach Ertz and Dalton Schultz also had great days. Dalton Schultz had the better, though, going 6 for 7, 80 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But Zach Ertz did look like him old self, going 4 receptions for 53 yards and a touchdown. Thoughts on this game?
Yeah, so the Cowboys pretty much dominated the entire game. Philly, I don't know what their game plan was, but running the ball obviously wasn't on that. Yeah, I think they need to look to carry the ball for a Miles Sanders owner. I might look at trying to trade him off for I don't even know who at this point who would take him, but yeah, Cowboys look good. Eagles didn't.
Definitely. Alrighty. Now we're going to move on over to the injury report for the upcoming week. Currently, Lamar Jackson is questionable with his back. He remains sidelined at Thursday's practice. How does that affect him? And do you think or not the Orioles? Do you think the Ravens have a chance of winning that game if Lamar Jackson doesn't play in Denver?
If Lamar doesn't play, it's over. Lamar is the Baltimore Ravens. He's the entire team, and I do not see them winning without Lamar.
That's fair. Alrighty, moving on over to the Panthers, who did suffer a couple big losses. J.C. Horn, um, something happened to his foot. I think he broke it.
Yeah,
He was
fractured.
placed on the IR Monday. Massive loss, but not as big as Christian McCaffrey, who Matt Rule said Monday that McCaffrey won't be placed on injured reserve, which is hopeful. But the thing with hamstrings is that it always just scares me about re-aggravation, because those are very touchy injuries. That health scares me. Your thoughts?
Yeah, always tough seeing McCaffrey go down, especially back-to-back years. But hopefully he'll be able to come back. Though I think Chuba Hubbard will be able to step in and play his role. I mean, it won't be the McCaffrey style of play that McCaffrey brings, but he'll still be able
Exactly.
to help move the ball.
I think so too. I think they'll definitely use Chuba Hubbard a little bit more to just take the load off of McCaffrey a bit, especially until he's fully healed.
And they even started using Royce Freeman a bit. Haven't heard that name in a while, but
Yeah, no kidding. I don't like the Ducks though, so I don't like to think about it.
exactly.
Alrighty, moving on over to the Bears. Darnell Mooney and Andy Dalton both practice in limited fashion on Thursday. Khalil Mack was a non-participant in Wednesday's practice. Uh, do you want to see Andy Dalton or Justin Fields at quarterback this weekend?
If they're both healthy, I'd like to see Justin Fields, but I think it's going to come down to whoever's healthiest there.
Definitely. Alrighty. Sorry, just trying to find some more injuries that are on the injury list that are important to note. Melvin Gordon is questionable with ribs and a lower leg. He remained limited at practice on Thursday, though. Um, KJ Hamler also, um, that was last week, but still a big impact. um, let's see. Deandre Swift is questionable with a groin, but he was limited at practice on Thursday. Thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I'm not worried about that at all. He's been questionable every single week, and it's just kind of the same thing. He
Yeah.
ends up putting up big numbers.
Yeah,
So
especially with the groin. I mean, that's what's been bothering him since the beginning, so I'm not too worried
yeah,
about that. Um, Aaron Jones questionable with an ankle, with some ankle pain. He was limited at on Thursday. Do you think he'll play this week?
I think so. I think I'll tough it out.
Yeah, me too. Jonathan Taylor questionable with a knee injury. He was limited on Thursday. So was Carson Wentz as well. But Jack Doyle, their tight end, was sidelined. Thoughts?
Wow, it's just not looking good for the Colts. I mean, injuries on top of the team they have right now.
And
I guess
Quentin
more.
Nelson also is questionable, but he
Yeah,
is believed to suffer a high ankle sprain,
yeah,
which is
that's a
not
tough
good,
one.
especially for a D lineman or
Yeah,
offensive lineman. Excuse me.
yeah. I'd just be concerned if I was a Colts fan.
Yeah, same. Josh Jacobs is questionable. He did practice today, though. Thoughts?
I think I'll end up playing. I think he's had enough time to recover.
Do you think he'll split carries with Barber after Barber had such a good day?
Yeah, I definitely think they'll use Barber more than they have in the past, other than last week, obviously. But yeah, I think they'll kind of ease in Josh Jacobs.
Yep. Daryl Henderson is questionable with his ribs. He did log a limited practice on Thursday, though. Thoughts?
This one, I don't know. I mean, it's obviously good to see him at least practicing in limited fashion, but ribs can be a little tender, and I feel like that could be easily aggravated. So I don't know. I think it might be a game time decision for him.
Yep. Will Fuller is questionable with chest to elbow pain. No big news there. I wouldn't play him even if he was, just because we haven't seen him yet. Dalvin Cook is questionable with ankle. He did practice limitedly on Thursday. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't absolutely feel 100%, I don't think he's going to play, especially with Madison and the production he put up. But I feel like he's going to want to play and get back out there, so I could definitely see him playing.
Yeah. James White was unfortunately put on the IR, or hasn't been put on the IR, but I think he will be. He did suffer a hip injury that is expected to be season ending. Um, so that's really sad to hear because he was having a good year, and you never like seeing somebody's season end by injury. Thoughts?
Yeah, not looking good for his status. We'll be interested to see who fills in that role behind James White.
Yeah. Saquon Barkley was limited on Thursday. Nothing really new though. He's kind of been limited in practices off season. Anything to be worried about?
Yeah, no, he's definitely working his way back to the old Saquon Barkley.
Yeah. Slayton and Shepard both did not participate though, and are questionable. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, that one's a little bit more concerning, especially if they're not participating. Um, as for fantasy goes, I would not start either of them.
Yeah. Jameson Crowder is questionable. He was limited on Thursday. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't think he's played a game yet. If he has, it's been I don't know a few reps, but I think that will definitely improve the Jets offense even slightly. And
Yep.
even that's good for them. But
Juju and Claypool are both questionable. They were both limited today at practice. Thoughts on that?
yeah, that's a little concerning for the Steelers. I also think Big Ben's a little dinged up. But yeah, I mean, I don't know about Deontay Johnson. He got hurt on like a very pointless play at the end of the Raiders game 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he is not actually on the current injured report for the Steelers.
Wow.
So I think that must be all good.
Claypool and Juju, I'd be a little concerned with that.
Yep. But without those two, it looks good for Deontay Johnson owners.
Yep.
Um, Alrighty, Elijah Mitchell was limited in practice on Thursday. George Kittle did not participate in practice. Thoughts?
I'd still shy away from 49ers running backs for the time being. Though I do think Elijah Mitchell will be the number one running back when he's fully healthy.
DK Metcalf was limited on Thursday with a foot issue, and Lockett was held out of practice on Thursday, but Carroll did say that he is fine. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Lockett ended up going back in the game after he got dinged up at Minnesota, so not too concerned about that. DK, I still think he's going to play.
Rob Gronkowski is questionable and did not play in, or was not even present in Thursday's practice. Thoughts on that one?
This one's a little concerning, though it is Gronk, so you never know what you're going to get. I mean, Gronk's Gronk, but I could definitely see him sitting out, especially with his age getting up there.
Yep. AJ Brown and Julio Jones both didn't practice on Thursday. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm not too sure that either of them are going to be playing this weekend.
Yeah, me neither. Antonio Gibson is questionable. He was a non-participant at Thursday's practice. Thoughts on that one?
What's his injury?
Shin. Something's
Shin.
wrong with his
Oof.
shin. Yeah, which is not good.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That's a new one too.
Yeah, shin's tricky, so I'd put a question mark by that one.
Me too. Alrighty, that wraps up the injury report for heading into week 4. Now we're going to give you the sports booth power rankings for week 3. Kay, do you want to tell us the top 10?
Yeah, so the top 10, if you haven't already seen it on our Instagram, coming
I
in at
I actually changed it because you forgot Baltimore.
yeah, okay, okay. Who did? Oh, you bumped. Okay, I see what you did. Coming in at number 1, we got the Los Angeles Rams. Number 2, the Arizona Cardinals. Number 3, the Buffalo Bills. Number 4, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 5, Vegas Raiders. 6, Carolina Panthers. 7, Cleveland Browns. 8, Baltimore Ravens. 9, LA Chargers. 10, Green Bay Packers.
Yep. Nothing too surprising there. Now I'll take you through 11 through 20. At 11, we've got Denver, followed by Tennessee, San Francisco, Dallas, Kansas City, Cincinnati, Minnesota, New Orleans, Seattle at 19, and at 20, we got Pittsburgh. Okay, do you want to take us the rest of the way?
Yeah, so the bottom half of the league, we got at 21, Philadelphia. 22, Washington football team. 23, the Patriots. 24, the Bears. 25, the Dolphins. 26, the Colts. 27, the Texans. 28, Atlanta. 29, the Giants. 30, the Lions. 31, the Jags. And 32, the New York Jets.
Alrighty. Now we're going to give you the Booth's AFC and NFC offensive and defensive players of the week, starting with the AFC. Cade, who we got?
In the AFC, Offensive Player of the Week, we got Mike Williams for the LA Chargers. I mean, there's not a whole lot to argue there. He just had a monster week.
Yep, 100%. And defensively?
On the defensive side, we have Logan Wilson. Is that the Browns? Logan
Uh, Bengals.
Bengals? Okay. On the defensive side, we got Logan Wilson for the Cincinnati Bengals, coming in with 14 tackles.
And 2 interceptions.
Oh, yeah. That's a little hard to see. And 2 interceptions. And
Yes, you can zoom in
a
on your computer.
pass defense.
Pass defense. Yeah, he had 2 pass
Oh, shit.
deflected. Alrighty. And on the NFC side for the offensive player of the week, we've got Mr. Cooper Kupp, finishing 196 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 9 receptions. I'm pretty sure he was our player of the week last week, wasn't he?
Yep, back to back.
Yeah. I'm looking for. I just want to confirm on that. Yep, Mr. Cooper Kupp, back to back. Congratulations. You might have to be a guest on this show one day. If you think we're good enough for you, Mr. Cooper. And on the defensive side, we got Byron Murphy Jr., linebacker for the. Where is that a linebacker? I don't know. What position does Byron Murphy play? He's a cornerback. All right. For the defensive player of the week, we've got Byron Murphy Jr., cornerback for the Arizona Cardinals. He finished with 2 interceptions and a pick 6 with 4 tackles and 2 pass deflected. Congratulations to all of the NFL or to the Sports Booth NFC and AFC players of the week. Now we move on to the top 3 streaming quarterbacks of the week. Who you got at number 1?
Number 1, you got Taylor Heineke against the Atlanta Falcons.
Yep, Atlanta's defense is just so bad.
Yep.
And I mean, Heineke has been balling out.
He has been. And I think he's getting Curtis Samuel back this week.
Yep, he very well could be. Teddy B versus Baltimore at our second. Yeah, they'll be able to throw better than they can run, and I think this will lead to a big week. I think you'll see probably close to 20 points from him this week. And who you got for number 3?
Number 3, we got the Las Vegas legend Derek Carr against the LA Chargers.
Yep.
He's proven to be a top fantasy scorer every single week so far in the top 10.
Yep, and they just throw the ball so much.
Yep. Just throw it to Waller, Ruggs, and Renfro.
Alrighty, and we know we're slightly late on the waiver show, but we're gonna do it anyways. So if he's still available, go after Cordell Patterson. He is absolutely phenomenal. He's gonna get you a bunch of receptions, especially if you're in a PPR. Not that valuable if you're in a standard league, but PPR he is extremely valuable. Look for 5 to 6 receptions every week, as well as probably 7 to 10 attempts rushing the ball every week.
Yep. And number 2, it's pretty obvious he's probably already been snatched up. Chuba Hubbard, for
Yeah,
obvious
sorry about
reasons.
that. And number 3, we got Kyle Juszczyk, or however you spell it, because I spelled it wrong, I know. Um, but I think that he is an extremely good option for the 49ers as their main running back. He has proven to be a good receiver. He has also proven to be one of the more stronger and tougher guys on the team that won't go down to injury as easily. I think he is a very good main running back for that team right now.
It's just a red zone threat, too.
Yep, absolutely. Big guy. All right, who you got for number 1 at receiver?
So for number 1 in receivers, we're going to say Rondale Moore. Going to need to look for people that panicked and dropped him after his mediocre week last week. And they play the Rams this week, so Jalen Ramsey's going to be on D-Hop most likely,
Oh, yeah.
leaving Kirk and Rondale Moore available.
Yep,
And AJ Green, for
100%.
that matter.
100%.
You got it, number 2.
Number 2, I got Nick Westbrook-Ikini, Tennessee's receiver, especially if A.J. Brown and Julio Jones do not play. I think he'll have a big week, especially with the defense most likely going to just be stacked in the box against Derrick Henry. Who you got at number 3?
Number 3, we got Marquez Callaway. A lot of people
Yep.
probably dropped him, and most likely going to be available for you. And he finally had a double-digit week, and I think that's going to continue.
Yep, me too. I think Winston finally understands that he is the best receiving option right now, just because they can't obviously dump it off to Kamara every time.
All right, what do you got
Alrighty.
for tight end?
I got Dawson Knox. He has been consistent this year, finishing with 8.1 in week 1, 9.7 in week 2, and 14.9 this past weekend. He's just been consistent. He has been a regular part of this offense so far this year, and I think I think he has a cap out of like 15 points, but I think he is a good option. You got it too.
Coming in at number 2, we got Mike Kasaki.
Yeah, I told you last week on the episode that if Tua wasn't playing, he would get extreme targets. And look at that. He finished with 10 receptions for 86 yards.
Yeah, and I took that advice this week, and I snagged him.
And then at 3, I've got Will Dissley. He has proven to be an extremely talented tight end, and this offense likes this type of offense likes the tight end position. And since Gerald Everett is out, you could see a huge day from Dissley, a target Russ has liked in the past when he was his tight end 1. It's also super important if Lockett and Metcalf or even just one of them do miss the game. I think Dissley will be a huge part of this offense. All right, and give us the 3 defensive special teams that you would take this week.
So number 1, we would take Tennessee against the Jets for obvious reasons.
Jets are so bad.
Number 2 is the Saints, who got the Giants this week.
Also
Obvious again.
But they do have a better offense, so for that reason, I would go with Tennessee over the Jets.
Agreed. And finally, we got the Miami Dolphins, who got the Colts this week.
Yep, Colts are bad. Alrighty, and now we're going to give you the top 5 PPR positions or PPR ranking at every position. I'll start her off with the quarterbacks. We got Tom Brady at number 1, Kyler Murray at number 2, Patty at number 3, Kirk at number 4, and Jalen at number 5. Jalen Hurts at number 5. This is through week 3, so it wasn't their finish for last week. Who are the top 5 running backs through so far this season?
The top running back so far
I said that
is
really weird. I'm going to reset that. Alrighty, and who are the top 5 running backs this? Oh my God, hold on. Alrighty, and who are the top 5 running backs through week 3 of the NFL season, Cade?
through week 3. The King, Derrick Henry, remains to be atop, followed by Aaron Jones, then Deandre Swift, Christian McCaffrey, and then Austin Eckler.
Yep, that's pretty crazy that McCaffrey only put up 6 points and he's still at number 4.
Wild.
Yeah.
Who you got for wide receivers?
Alrighty, at the wide receiver position, we got Mr. Cooper Cup at number 1, Mr. Mike Williams at 2, Tyler Lockett at 3, Thielen at 4, Davonte Adams at 5, and I'm just gonna sneak this quick one in here at 6 because go Beavs.
Oh, please.
Mr. Brandon Cooks represent. We should try to get him on the podcast, see if he can help out a few fellow Beavs. Alrighty, and give us your top 5 the top 5 tight ends of the first 3 weeks of the season, kid.
Number 1, Travis Kelce. No surprise
No
there.
surprise.
Number 2, Gronk, who might fall off a little bit after being injured.
Yep.
3, Hawkinson, who even put up a dud, so surprised to still see him up there. Number 4, Darren Waller. And 5, Dalton Schultz, who merged his way in there.
Yeah, he had a crazy week. He had like 26 points. Alrighty, so we're just going to talk about a few players real quick, and we're going to tell you basically whether we would start or sit them with this upcoming week. Alrighty, starting it with Allen Robinson. Who would you do?
They do play Detroit.
And I think I think that offense is gonna be slightly better this week.
Yeah, I mean they
couldn't be much
due
worse.
for it. Man, I mean, for me, it would depend who I have on my roster. In one of my leagues, I do have Allen Robinson, and I'm debating this right now, leading up to Sunday. I think I'm gonna have to start him in there. I think they're due for it, though. I would like to hear who the starting quarterback is going to be to confirm. But
what if it's Andy Dalton?
I'd probably start him with Andy Dalton because Dalton's obviously not going to be running at all. So I'm just gonna go with the start because I feel like he's due for a week. At least get a touchdown, get like 15 points or so.
Yeah, definitely. Hold on, I'm just trying to find the stat that I had about him. I mean, with how bad the offense was this past week, he still had 6 targets and he was on the field for 89% of snaps. If their offense literally could have just done anything, I think he would have had a fine game. And yeah, so I think he'll be all right this week. All right. What about Davonte Smith?
I'd probably go ahead and sit Davonte this week.
I think the big play potential is so apparent. Week 1, obviously, he had that big game, having 8 targets, 6 receptions, 71 yards, and a touchdown. He still got 7 targets and 6 targets week 2 and 3. The receptions just weren't there. So once him and Jalen Hurts officially get that chemistry down, it's going to be there. Kansas City's defense is not very good. I think that'll be better. Because Dallas does have a very good corner in Trevon Diggs, who was covering Davonte Smith. So Kansas City doesn't have a stellar one corner like that. So I would go ahead and start him this week.
I'd still go ahead and sit. For me, he still hasn't proven put up numbers against any defense other than the Falcons, and for that reason, I feel like I'd also just have a few better options. Like I'd stream Jacoby Myers over him, or would say I have Chenault on a bunch of teams, but he already played tonight. So,
Would you play Rondale Moore over him?
not Rondell Moore, but Christian Kirk, yes.
What about Marquez Callaway?
That'd just be a toss up. I'd probably keep switching that back and forth.
Okay. And if he's in your flex, what about Kyle Juszczyk?
Yeah, I'd start him over Juszczyk.
Okay. Alrighty. Emmanuel Sanders versus Houston had a huge game last week. Has been really the main target in Buffalo this past week. But I mean, I assume it's got to end, but maybe it doesn't. Do you play him this week?
I would go ahead and play Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, he's put up solid numbers all season long so far, and Buffalo throws the ball quite a bit. And I think Josh Allen's. I think he's already found out that he likes Emmanuel Sanders as a target, and
Do you play him over Stephon Diggs?
not over Diggs, but
No.
I'd maybe start
you
Diggs and then put Sanders in the flex.
Do you feel comfortable playing Sanders in as your wide receiver too? Not if you don't have Diggs, but just as your wide receiver too.
You know what? I'd probably say yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on who my receivers are.
I wouldn't. I would probably say flex, but I would yeah, I would say flex. But I would start him as well this week. All right, Marquis Brown kind of been involved, looking a little better, looking a little more involved. Playing the Chargers this week. You starting him or you sitting him?
All depends if Lamar plays.
Yep.
If Lamar doesn't play, I'm going to sit him. But if Lamar plays, I'll start him.
Even though if they'll probably throw the ball a little bit more if Lamar doesn't play?
Yep. I still think there's going to be some chemistry issues with. I don't even know who the backup is there. Is it?
No clue. But I'm saying start regardless. Alrighty. And lastly, Mr. Brandon Nyuk finally did something this week. Put up like 14 points, and he's playing a bad Seattle defense. Start or sit?
I'd probably start him as a flex just because Seattle secondary isn't the best. Yeah, I mean, if I had to go between Emmanuel Sanders or Marquise Brown, I'd start both of them over Ayuk as of right now, just until Ayuk can prove himself as a consistent fantasy point scorer. But I would go ahead and start him this week.
Yep, I agree completely. Alrighty. Wow, we're already at an hour of podcasting time. Almost an hour. That's crazy. This is a good episode. Good episode. Alrighty, well that wraps it up for. Or I would also start him this week just because that Seattle defense is so bad. I hate it, but they're so bad. Alrighty, that wraps up start and sit. Now a little buy or bull predictions as we go into week 4. Alright, I'm just gonna list off some things and we're gonna say whether we think we buy them or we bull. Alright. Allen Robinson will have more than 6 receptions and 60 yards this week.
I'm going to buy this. I think, I mean, he's been getting about 6 targets at least a game. But I just feel like he's due. 60 yards isn't too much to ask for either. And they play the Lions, so I feel like he's got to get it done this week. So I'm buying it.
Yeah, I am as well. I think he's just too good to not be involved in this offense. And I think as soon as they figure out that they just need to involve him so much that they will be better, and then he will obviously be better. All right, Chuba Hubbard will finish as a top 5 or top 12 running back. Excuse me.
Top 12. I'm gonna buy that. I think they're gonna try and use him as close to how they use McCaffrey. Obviously not as good as a pass catcher, but I still think
he still has a lot of good skill with it.
Yep.
Yeah, me too. I think he'll finish with around 15 points. I think that'll be easily getting get him into the top 12 running backs on the week. I think you'll be good with that. Alrighty. Cup will have another top 5 finish against Arizona.
I'm gonna buy it. I think Cup is going to be a guy that wins you your fantasy leagues this year, and he's just going to put up monster numbers each week, regardless of who he plays. He did it again. I mean, I guess Tampa's not that good of a secondary, but I think Stafford to Cup is going to be money all season long.
Yeah, but at some point the defenses are going to just start double teaming him. I mean, it happens with every receiver, and like he's just what he's good at is he's really good at just running fast. And he's a lot like Tyreek Hill. And I mean, look, now defenses are finally keying in better on Tyreek Hill, and they're having a lot of success. Unlike Davonte Adams, who Davonte Adams is just an extremely good route runner. So it doesn't matter how many defenders you have on him, he's going to get that separation. He's going to get space, and then he's got an amazing quarterback throwing to him. I'm going to say Bull on this. I'm not taking anything away from Stafford, but I think Arizona will do a lot to double Cup, especially just after the absolute insane amount that Stafford likes to look at him.
So would you say Cup's the top 10 this week?
I would
Or
say
would you
top
even
10. I'm just not. I don't think top 5. I don't think he'll put up another 30 point. I think you'll see him finish with around 20, maybe 22. So I think he's still going to have a really good game, but I think there's going to be more than 5 receivers that have like 25-point games or higher. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Alrighty. Tom Brady will remain atop the fantasy quarterbacks after this week. He currently has a 0.24 lead over Kyler and about 5 more than Patty.
I'm going to say Bull. Though I think it's going to be Patty that overtakes him because Kyler's got the Rams defense to attend to this week. I don't know. I could see Tom Brady struggling a little bit. He doesn't have, most likely won't have Gronk this week.
Yeah, but I mean, he's going to have AB back, so he'll have AB, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin all there, plus the receiving option and Giovanni Bernard. I mean,
Yeah, I still think
and
they'll put up
with
like
no
25.
Stephon Gilmore, I think he'll be. I think he's just gonna continue to be there. He's so good.
I think Patty's going to absolutely torch the Philly defense and put up like a 30 bomb. And he's
I
going to
think Tom
overtake.
Brady's gonna put up a 30 bomb too, though.
I'll give him 25, but that's about it.
All right. Well, we shall see. Derek Carr will have another top 10 weekend.
Top 10? Yes, I could definitely see that. I'm going to go ahead and buy it. I mean, he's been consistent all year. I don't see why it's going to. He does play the Chargers, who are solid on the defensive side, as we saw them beat the Chiefs, but I still think Carr will produce.
Yep, I am going to buy as well until he doesn't do it. I don't see any reason why he couldn't do it. I mean, they throw the ball so much, and he's got such good weapons on that team, and Darren Waller and Henry Ruggs. I think it's just extremely. I buy that. Alrighty, and lastly, Kirk Cousins will still be in the top 5 of quarterbacks. He is currently number 4 and is only 1.2 points out of being in 6th. Do you buy a bull?
Who do the Vikings have?
Cleveland.
Cleveland. I think I'm gonna call Bull just for that reason.
Yep, me too. Alrighty. Now let's move it on over to the NCAA picks. Cade, what you got for us in the lock of the week?
So our NCAA lock of the week is gonna be Texas over TCU in the over, which is 66.5.
Not Texas over TCU. Texas and TCU combined 66.5.
Oh, duh. Let me just
There, the lock is not of the spread of that game or
gotcha.
money line.
Okay,
Even though I
so
do think Texas will win.
our lock of the week is going to be Texas and TCU going over 66.5. And our 50-50 shot of the week is going to be Penn State minus 12.5 at Indianapolis.
Indiana.
Okay. Our 50-50 shot is going to be Penn State minus 12 uh, against Indiana. And our upset is going to be Michigan in the money line at Wisconsin, who's currently favored 1.5 points.
Alrighty. And in the NFL, for our lock of the week, we've got the Raiders and Chargers combining for an over of 51 points. For our 50-50, we've got Miami beating the spread of 2.5 that they are currently favored against the Colts. And for the upset of the week, we've got the Detroit Lions in the money line against the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears just don't look that good. And honestly, Detroit has a pretty good offense. Their defense is just super bad. Alrighty, guys. Well, that wraps it up. Make sure you guys check out our website at thesportbooth.com. That's right, thesportbooth.com with no S at the end of sports, where you can find all of the picks as well as all the information for all of our giveaways and so much more. Also, check out the episode that we'll be posting later as well. For a walkthrough of the website where I'll go into great detail and explain to you guys everything about it. So make sure you guys check that out. Make sure you guys also subscribe as always to our YouTube channel as well as follow our Instagram account. We look forward to building this thing and we thank you guys every step of the way as always. We appreciate everything you guys do for us and we're here to serve you. So if there's anything we can do or do differently or something you like or don't like, please let us know. Let us know, let us know, let us know. Also, some big news. By the end of October, we are going to be on Spotify. So make sure you guys look out for that. It'll make it a lot easier just to stream while you're in the car or working or something. So that is awesome. Anything else, kid?
That'll do it.
Alrighty. Well, after review, the booth says it is good. Have a jubilant day, you guys.